Dear students, Sat Shri Akal Ji, most welcome in Creative Guruji. Please subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for latest video notifications. Science Class 9 Chapter 1 Matter in our surrounding. As we look at our surrounding, we see a large variety of things with different shape, size and textures. Everything in this universe is made up of material which scientists have named matter. What is matter? Matter can be defined as matter, anything that occupies space, has mass and offers resistance is called matter. The air we breathe, the food we eat, stones, clouds, stars, plants and animals, even a small drop of water or a particle of sand, everything is matter. We can also see as we look around that all the things mentioned above occupy space and have mass. In other words, they have both mass and volume. Before we go further, let's look at an important definition. Substance. A substance is a kind of matter that can be separated into other kind of matter by any physical process. Example, salt dissolved in water can be separated from water by evaporating the water. Here, salt is a substance which cannot be broken into components by any physical process, as we can see in this image. Let's look at some of the history. Indian philosophers classified matter into form of 5 basic elements, the Panch Tattva: air, earth, fire, sky and water. According to them, everything living or non-living was made up of these 5 basic elements. Ancient Greek philosophers also similar thoughts. Now in modern days, scientists have evolved 2 types of classification of matter based on their physical properties and chemical nature. Physical properties like physical state, color, electrical conductivity, etc. Chemical property like formation of oxide, hydride, etc. Now let's talk about physical nature of matter. Matter is made up of particles. Everything around us is made up of many small particles. As we can see in these animations, in first animation, solid contains the small particles. It means solid, which is one of the state of the matter, is made up of very small particle. The second animation shows the 3D animation of solid in form of quantum fluctuations, which also represents the particle makes the matter. Now a question arises: how small are these particles of matter? Take 2-3 crystals of potassium permanganate and dissolve them in the 100 ml of water. Take out approximately 10 ml of this solution and put it into 90 ml of clean water. Take out 10 ml of this solution and put it into another 90 ml of clean water. Keep diluting the solution like this 5 to 8 times. This experiment shows that just a few crystals of potassium permanganate can color a large volume of water. So, we conclude that there must be millions of tiny particles in just one crystal of potassium permanganate, which keep on dividing themselves into smaller and smaller particles. We can also say that the particles of matter are very small. They are small beyond our imaginations. Particles which make up of matter are atoms and molecules. This animation shows the pictorial view of atoms and molecules. After completing physical nature of matter, now we are moving to the characteristics of particles of matter. First one, particles of matter have space between them. In previous, we see that particles of potassium permanganate evenly distributed in water. Similarly, when we make tea, coffee or lemonade, nimbu pani, particles of one type of matter got into the spaces between the particles of other. This shows that there is enough space between particles of matter. In lemonade, Nimbu Pani, the particles are clearly shown flow in the water. In this animation, particles have space between them, but the outer layer of substance is plain, now as shown in image whenever we observe them. Next, characteristics. Particles of matter are continuously moving. Previous animations, particles are continuously moving. If we talk about the agarbatti or incense, we warmed them and placed it one corner of the room, but their aroma spread the entire room as their particles move from one place to another. Particles of matter are continuously moving. That is, they possess what we call the kinetic energy. As the temperature rises, particles move faster. So, we can say that with increase in temperature, the kinetic energy of the particles also increases. And the last one, particles of matter attract each other. There are some forces of attraction between the particles of matter which bind them together. The strength of this force of attraction varies from one kind of matter to another. States of matter. Observe different type of matter around you. What are its different states? We can see that matter around us exists in different states: solid, liquid and gas. These states of matter arise due to the variation in the characteristics of the particles of matter. Now let us study about the properties of these three states of matter in detail. The solid state. Collect the following articles: a pen, a book, a needle and a piece of wooden stick. Sketch the shape of the above articles in your notebook by moving a pencil around them. All the above are examples of solid. We can observe that all these have a definite shape, distinct boundaries and fixed volumes. If we try compressing them by applying force, it have negligible compressibility. Solid have a tendency to maintain these shape when subjected to outside force. Solid may break under the force, but it is difficult to change their shape, so they are rigid. Consider the following. But are a rubber band, can it change its shape on stretching? Is it a solid? A rubber band changes shape under force and regains the same shape when the force is removed. If excessive force is applied, it breaks. But about sugar and salt, when it kept in different jars, these take the shape of the jar. Are they solid? The shape of each individual sugar or salt crystal remains fixed. Whether we take it in our hands, put it in a plate or in a jar. What about a sponge? It is a solid, yet we are able to compress it. Why? A sponge has minute hole. It has air is trapped. When it press it, the air is expelled out and we are able to compress it. A solid is that state of matter which has definite shapes, mass and volume. For example, pen, book, needle, wooden stick. Properties. Solid have a definite mass and definite volume. Solids have negligible compressibility. Solids have high densities. The intermolecular distance is very small and intermolecular forces are very strong. The liquid state. Collect the following: water, cooking oil, milk, use a cold drink. What will happen if these liquids are spilled on the floor? We observe that liquid have no fixed shape but have a fixed volume. They take up the shapes of the container in which they are kept. Liquids flow and change shape, so they are not rigid but can be called fluid. A liquid state, that state of matter which has definite mass and volume but not definite shape. Properties: liquids have a definite mass and volume. Liquids do not have definite shape. Liquids are more compressible than solid. Liquids are less dense than that of the solids. Less intermolecular forces of attraction in liquids. The gaseous state. Have you ever observed a balloon seller filling a large number of balloons from a single cylinder of gas? Because gas are highly compressible as compared to solids and liquids. The liquefied petroleum gas LPG cylinder that we get in our homes for cooking, or the oxygen supplied to hospitals in cylinders, is compressed gas. Compressed natural gas CNG is used as a fuel these days in vehicles. Due to its high compressibility, large volumes of a gas can be compressed into a small cylinder and transported easily. A gas is that state of matter which has definite mass but not definite volume and not definite shape. For example, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. Properties: a gas contained in a vessel have definite mass. They do not have definite shape and volume. Gas are highly compressible. Density of gas are extremely small. Negligible intermolecular forces of attraction. Can matter change its state? We all know from our observations that water can exist in three states of matter: solid as ice, liquid as familiar water, and gas as water vapor. Lot of questions arises in our mind. What happened inside the matter during this change of state? What happened to the particles of matter during the change of state? How does this change of state take place? All these questions will be clear in the interconversion of states of matter. First of all, we define or clarify the interconversion of states of matter, the phenomenon of change of matter from one state to another state by altering the condition of temperature and pressure is called interconversion of matter. The states of matter can be interchanged from one another by altering the conditions of temperature and pressure. First of all, we explain the effect of temperature on interconversion of states of matter. Effect of change of temperature. Interconversion of solid into liquid, or interconversion of liquid into solid. The solids can be converted into liquid by heating them, and the liquids can be converted into solids by cooling them. For example, ice at 0 degrees Celsius changes into water when heat energy is supplied to it, and the water at 0 degrees Celsius changes into ice. On freezing, interconversion of solid into liquid is explained in the process of melting. Melting can be defined as the process due to which a solid changes into liquid by absorbing heat energy is called melting. On increasing the temperature of solids, the kinetic energy of the particles increases. Due to increase in kinetic energy, the particles start vibrating with greater speed. The energy supplied by the heat overcomes the forces of attraction between the particles. The particles leave their fixed position and start moving more freely. A stage is reached when the solid melts and is converted to a liquid. One of the most important term which is related to melting is melting point. The temperature at which a solid melt to become a liquid at the atmospheric pressure is called its melting point. The melting point of a solid is an indication of the strength of the force of attraction between its particles. The melting point of ice is 273.16 Kelvin. The process of melting, that is change of solid state into liquid state, is also known as fusion. Interconversion of solid into liquid is explained under the process of freezing. Freezing, the process due to which a liquid changes into solid by giving out heat energy, is called freezing. Or one of the most important term which is related to freezing is freezing point. The constant temperature at which a liquid changes into a solid state by giving out heat energy is called freezing point. Or the process of freezing, that is change of liquid state into solid state, is also known as solidification. Next, effect of change of temperature on interconversion of liquid into gaseous state or the interconversion of gaseous state into liquid state. The liquid can be converted into gases by heating them. Okay, the liquid can be converted into gases by heating them, and the gases can be converted into liquid by cooling them, and the gases can be converted into liquid by cooling them. For example, water at 0 degrees Celsius by absorbing heat changes into vapors or gas. Steam at 100 degrees Celsius changes into water by giving out energy. Interconversion of liquid into gaseous state or the liquid can be converted into gases by heating them, simply known as boiling. Boiling can be defined as the process due to which a liquid changes into gaseous state by absorbing heat is called boiling. When we supply heat energy to water, particles start moving even faster. At a certain temperature, a point is reached when the particles have enough energy to break free from the forces of attractions of each other. At this temperature, the liquid starts changing into gas. And the most important term which is related to boiling is boiling point. The temperature at which a liquid starts boiling at the atmospheric pressure is known as its boiling point. The temperature at which a liquid starts boiling at the atmospheric pressure is known as its boiling point. Boiling is a bulk. Particles from the bulk of the liquid gain enough energy to change into the vapor state. Boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Interconversion of gaseous into liquid state or the gases can be converted into liquid by cooling them is simply known as condensation. The process due to which a gas changes into liquid state by giving out heat or heat energy is called condensation. Similar to other processes, condensation also have condensation point. The temperature at which a gas changes into liquid by giving out heat at the atmospheric pressure is known as its condensation point. Last interconversion is direct conversion. Direct interconversion of solid into gaseous state or direct interconversion of gaseous state into solid state. We have learnt that substances around us change state from solid to liquid and from liquid to gas on application of heat. But there are some that change directly from solid state to gaseous state and vice versa without changing into the liquid state. A change of state directly from solid to gas without changing into liquid state is called sublimation. Now we are revised all the lecture with the help of flowchart. Solid, liquid, gas, melting, solid to liquid, freezing, liquid to solid, boiling, liquid to gas or vapors, condensation, gas or vapors to liquid, sublimation, solid to gas, sublimation, gas to solid. First, we will discuss the effect of pressure on interconversion of states of matter. We have already learnt that the difference in various states of matter is due to the difference in the distances between the constituent particles. What will happen when we start putting pressure and compress a gas enclosed in a cylinder? Will the particle come closer? Do you think that increasing or decreasing the pressure can change the state of matter? When a gas is compressed, the intermolecular space between its particles decreases and ultimately it will be converted into liquid. Pressure and temperature determines the state of a substance. So, high pressure and low temperature can liquefy gases. It means applying pressure and reducing temperature can liquefy gases. Have you heard of solid carbon dioxide, CO2? It is stored under high pressure. Solid carbon dioxide gets converted directly to gaseous state on decreasing of pressure of 1 atmosphere without coming into liquid state. This is the reason that solid carbon dioxide is also known as dry ice. Solid CO2 is known as dry ice. Solid CO2 is extremely cold and used to deep freeze food and to keep ice cream cold. Thus, we can say that pressure and temperature determines the state of a substance. It will be solid, liquid or gas. Unit of pressure. Atmosphere is a unit of measuring pressure exerted by a gas. The unit of pressure is Pascal. 1 atm equals to 1.01 into 10 raised to power 5 Pascal. Now, let's move on the last topic of this chapter, evaporation. Do we always need to heat or change pressure for changing the state of a matter? Can you quote some example from everyday life where change of state from liquid to vapors takes place without the liquid reaching the boiling point? Water, when left uncovered, slowly changes into vapor. Wet clothes dry up. What happened to water in the above two examples? We know that particles of matters are always moving and are never at rest. At a given temperature in any gas, liquid or solid, there are particles with different amount of kinetic energy. In the case of liquids, a small fraction of particles at the surface having higher kinetic energy is able to break away from the forces of attraction of other particles and gets converted into vapors. Definition of evaporation. The phenomenon of change of a liquid into vapors at any temperature below its boiling point is called evaporation. Okay? The atmospheric pressure at sea level is 1 atm. Now let's talk about the factor affecting evaporation. First, temperature. Second, surface area. Third, humidity. Fourth, wind speed. Detailed discussion of these factors. First factor that affect the evaporation is temperature. With the increase of temperature, the rate of evaporation increases. It means rate of evaporation is directly proportional to temperature. With the increase of temperature, a greater number of particles get enough kinetic energy to go into the vapor state. Second factor that affect the evaporation is surface area. We know that evaporation is a surface phenomenon. With the increase of the surface area, the rate of evaporation increases. It means rate of evaporation is directly proportional to surface area. For example, while putting clothes for drying up, we spread them out. Okay, when we spread the clothes, the surface area increases. It means evaporation also increases. Third factor that affects the evaporation is wind speed. With the increase of wind speed, the rate of evaporation increases. It means rate of evaporation is directly proportional to wind speed. It is a common observation that cloth dry faster on a windy day. With the increase in wind speed, the particles of water vapor move away with the wind, decreasing the amount of water vapor in the surrounding. Last factor affect the evaporation is humidity. With the decrease of humidity, the rate of evaporation increases. Rate of evaporation is inversely proportional to humidity. Humidity is the amount of water vapors present in air. The air around us cannot hold more than a definite amount of water vapors at a given temperature. If the amount of water in air is already high, the rate of evaporation decreases. Sometimes nature of a substance also affect the evaporation. Substances with high boiling points will evaporate slowly, while substances with low boiling point will evaporate quickly. Now move to the next subtopic of evaporation, cooling causes by evaporation. What happens when you pour some acetone nail polish remover on your palm? The particles gain energy from your palm or surrounding and evaporate, causing the palm to feel cool. Simply, we can say that the cooling caused by evaporation is based on the fact that when a liquid evaporates, it draws the latent heat of vaporization from anything which it touches. For example, if we put a little of spirit, ether or petrol on the palm of our hand, then our hand feels very cold. Another example, sweating is our body's method to maintaining a constant temperature. Let's talk about some important questions which based on the cooling caused by evaporation. First question, why should we wear cotton clothes in summer? During summer, we perspire more because of mechanism of our body, which keeps us cool. We know that during evaporation, the particles at the surface of the liquid gain energy from the surrounding or body surfaces and changes into vapor. The heat energy equals to the latent heat of vaporization is absorbed from the body, leaving the body cool. Cotton, being a good absorber of water, help in absorbing the sweat and exposing it to the atmosphere for easy evaporation. Second question, why do we see water droplets on the outer surface of a glass containing ice cold water? Let us take some ice cold water in a tumbler. Soon we will see water droplets on the outer surface of the tumbler. The water vapors present in air on coming in contact with the cold glass of water loses energy and gets converted to the liquid state, which we see as water droplets. And this concludes the chapter. I hope you will understand today's topic in this lecture. Don't forget to hit the like button and share this video. Subscribe to our channel. Keep hard work and make parents' name shine.